to welcome Catalina Patiño, principal of CAPA, teaches at Universidad Bolivariana, former Control G.
I'm Catalina Patiño. I'm from CAPA Arquitectura. CAPA Arquitectura is my new architectural office after the dissolution of Control G last year. I want to thank to Harvard and also to Urban for inviting me to be part of this event. Today, I will show you some projects that I have done in the last 8 years that shows the ideas of landscape in my work. The first one is on Shinkanchiku that we did in 2008. And the brief said that we have to do a housing project using the grid 9x9 that John Hejuk introduced into architecture. So what we did was to subvert the traditional way of designing a building. That is, that you design the building and then the landscape is void. It's an uncertain space. So what we did here was to design the landscape as an endless blanket that will wrap all the private space that is the middle part, that is where the houses will take place. So this is the first floor plan, and this is a section. And we also wanted to make honor to John Hejuk drawings, using them and giving them a second life, but changing their function. So they are part of the public space. This will be the typical section. We also use this grid for the main structure. In the middle, we will have the houses. We have in the top level the public space, also in the first level. And this will be a general image of how it would look like. The pink areas are the parts of the houses will take place. We also have these vertical connections to connect the houses to all the installations, and we want the users will fill and occupy these empty spaces. And we also have these other vertical connections, and at the end we will have like a mixed landscape between this already designed landscape and the houses that will be emerging from this landscape. And this will be a close-up of the whole system. The second one is a sustainable garden. This was a competition from the Bienal of Art and Landscape in Canarias and Tenerife. What we did in this one was to ask ourselves what was sustainable gardening in the contemporary landscape. So for that answer, we designed this prototype that has 3 principal parts. The first one is planting the endemic species that will be like in the middle of the prototype. The second one are the devices or the monitoring devices that will measure different agents from the plants and the environment, and they will be settled in a platform that its shapes looks like the classical geometric of the garden. And the third one will be the users, the person that will interact with the devices and will take care of the plants. So we will have this diagram that shows that shows the inputs. The inputs we want to sense that were the pH, the CO2, the noise, the humidity, the movement, and we have like the computer or the brain in the middle that will be in the middle of the plants, and we will have this output that will be light controls, water pumps, water mist, and informatic panels. And the source of energy, in this case, will be eolic energy, and also solar panels. So we designed 4 devices. The first device was Sonometro Luminico. That is a device that has a sensor in the top, so a microphone in the top, and when the levels of noise are too high, then this stick will start lighting up to show the people that we have some high levels of noise. Then the second one is the vaporometro aromatico. This one has a sensor of CO2 in the top, and when we have high levels of CO2, then we will have a vapor mist that will have a special scent and will decrease the impact of CO2 in the plant. The third one is velocimetro lumínico aspersor. This is a simple one. We have some pulleys, and it's just for the people to move these pulleys and create energy for lighting up all the matrix, and also for water the plants. And the last one is geómetro sonoro. That is a device that has a sensor in the soil, and when the levels of humidity fall down, then a sound will start to telling the people that they must water the plants. And this will be a general image. If we use this prototype many times in a round next to the sea. And this one was in Santa Cruz de Tenerife. And what will happen is we use this prototype in a big garden. We won this competition. We couldn't build this prototype because in that time was when the Spain crisis started, so we just couldn't finish it. But I hope one day we could do it. This is the Medellín River Park that we were also finalists. I did this one with Viana Peña and some Spain partners. What we wanted to do in this competition was to bring back to the city like the old river we used to have 100 years ago. So we did this because we think that the river is like the brain of our natural system. So what we did was to redraw its original movements and recover its original meanders. So this is a section for one of the meanders. So what we wanted to do here was to create an island where we could have some endemic species, but also we designed some bridges, pedestrian bridges, to cross for both sides of the river, and also to restore. We work with an hydraulic engineer that helped us to restore the original borders of the river. We put the highway in a semi-ground level and let just a free space in the top. These were some hydraulic modeling that we did with the hydraulic engineer just to see how these meanders were working with our proposal, and just to fix them to have less erosions and to technically could build them. And this is a catalog that we use them in some strategic places that we all time were trying to get the people nearest to the river. So we have some pedestrian bridges, some decks or terraces, this island in the meanders, some pedestrian and bicycle roads, and some balconies in the metro bridges to see the river. And this is a meander in the south of the city, in a part where we have too many factories, and in a place that is in this moment very contaminated. So we opened this one like a big lawn, just like to make a big park in this area of the city. And I want to end this talk with these two images. That this is the Museum of Modern Art. That is, we designed this building in association with Viviana Peña in Control G, and with 51 from Peru. And I want to end this one thinking of the built landscape rather than the natural landscape, and some words that I think that make that connection, and also these kindergartens that we have done in the last years. Thank you. you.